Okay. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I know it is Memorial Day, so we may not have a full roster tonight, but I'm going to jump right in and get started because it's a couple minutes after 9. It is Monday, May 25th, and we have a friend of mine on our call tonight. She is a 7-star Diamond, 2014 Elite Coach, and Success Club 10 All-Star. Please welcome my friend, Nikki Johnson, to our call tonight. She's going to share her story and talk about what she did to really kind of push her business forward and what she was able to accomplish in 1 year of really focusing on the behaviors and really zeroing in on chasing that why.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And thanks for all of you who jumped on a holiday. It's awesome. When we scheduled this, I was like, oh, it's, Memorial Day. Well, we'll do it. And then today I was thinking I was just relaxing and having fun. And I was like, I wonder if people are going to come. But so thank you so much for being on the call. So let me share my screen. I have this little PowerPoint that I made about how I went from Emerald Coach to Star Elite last year. And I actually met Brianne on The Wall, which is a group that you're on. You get put into from corporate when you hit 5-star. I don't even remember how we met, but we somehow connected. And then we were in a 21 Day Fix Extreme challenge group together. So being a coach that has never been in a challenge group other than the ones that I ran, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was new for all of us, I think. And, it's always we all have a couple bad weeks and then all of a sudden we're all back. We're all back in it now.
We were on a mission to Cancun and then we
said forget it.
Okay, so here's my slideshow. All right. So here's my story. I don't want it to take up too much time, but basically, I grew up I played soccer. I was an athlete. I had a really great childhood. My mom worked at AOL, so I never wanted for anything. And then I went to college. Well, going back to growing up, I didn't really have any kind of healthy relationship with food. I mean, my mom was always doing diets. I think that's kind of common with a lot of our parents, but I just kind of ate. And then I went to college and I just kept eating like I knew how to eat, and I gained a lot of weight from drinking and just eating whatever I wanted. And so I kind of started this whole thing of dieting. So I was really big into the South Beach diet. I would do the South Beach diet, I would lose all my weight, and then I would gain it all back. And then I would do the South Beach diet and I would lose all my weight and I would gain it all back. So then I remember meeting my husband. I was at I was the fittest I'd been in a really long time. And I was doing an hour in the gym of cardio. I would do 20 minutes on the bike, 20 minutes on the elliptical, 20 minutes on the treadmill, every day. But I was a size 6 and I felt great. And then we started dating. And of course, when you're newly dating somebody and you just want to eat and go out on dates and you don't really, pay as much attention. So I gained all my weight back, a lot of it at least. And then I ended up getting pregnant, surprisingly. So we had just moved in together and I got pregnant. And when my daughter was born, I suffered from postpartum depression pretty bad. I had a lot of anxiety and I didn't really care about my weight or about anything other than I just remember really pushing everyone away and just wanting to protect my daughter. I don't know what from, but I just remember being very I didn't want people to touch her. In a really bad place. And then we ended up getting married, so I had to plan for a wedding, and I remember trying to lose the weight for my wedding, and I did the South Beach diet, and then I stress ate up until the wedding, so I wasn't even where I wanted to be sold at the time. So, and throughout this whole journey with my husband, we went through a couple right when I came back from maternity leave. So he was I had made him quit his job when I was in the middle of postpartum depression because his job was very demanding, and I couldn't handle being at home alone all the time with the baby. So I was like, just quit your job. We'll be fine. I'll just go back to work at AOL. You can stay home with her and we'll figure it out. So I went back to work, and 2 weeks later I got laid off. So not only did I not have a job, he didn't have a job either. So luckily we had savings between the two of us. And then that summer we ended up both getting employed by the same company. They were a startup. I started blogging for them, and I became a freelance writer, and he worked for them. And so everything was great. So we had another baby, and everything was great. And I started doing the social media for the company that I was with, and they were paying me really well, and everything was good. And then I think I was probably like 4 months postpartum, the company shut down. And so we both lost our jobs again. And so it was really, really hard. And around the same time, I decided that I was going to lose my baby weight, because I had gained 50 pounds more than I had before. And I decided I was going to blog about it, because I had a mommy blog. So I'd been a blogger for a while. And that was the only way I was going to keep myself accountable. So I started tracking my weight loss, and I had someone help me with, she said, you need to start tracking your food. So I started tracking my food, and as soon as I started doing that, the weight was really coming off, even no matter what I was doing for my workouts, just because I wasn't eating, I thought I was eating healthy, but I was eating more than I thought I should have been. And so I documented every single month. I had like 6 months postpartum update, 7 month postpartum update, 8 month postpartum update. So every time I did that, I would post a picture of me, and I would post my stats and what I was doing, what I was eating, and people were following me. And around the same time, we're still going on more unemployment. We decided to move to a small town in Virginia because it was cheaper to live there. And I didn't belong to my gym anymore, so I started running a lot. So I was running and watching my food, and I was losing weight. And I remember I was in the gym doing a workout in the gym, and there was this flyer on the wall, and it was like, T25, we're going to get together and do this T25 workout every morning. If you want to join us, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. I didn't know what it was, but I just go. So I started going, and there wasn't even a coach involved. It was just like this guy who had the DVDs and 3 or 4 other people. And every morning we would go and talking about it. I was like, I'm doing this T25, we're on alpha. And I don't even think we did the workouts in order. I think it was just kind of like what he felt like doing. And so I started blogging about it. And meanwhile, this guy that I went to high school with started commenting on my Facebook, but they have an algorithm. So if you start commenting more on people's pictures, then you start showing up more in their newsfeed. So he started showing up more in my newsfeed, even though I wasn't really friends with him. I hadn't talked to him since high school. We weren't even friends in high school, but he kept popping up in my newsfeed. And so one day he started talking about how he quit his job and because of Beachbody. And I was like, and we're going on 9 months of unemployment here. I started doing, my husband didn't have a job. And so I was thinking like, what is this? And, I think T25 has something to do with Beachbody, but I'm not sure. So I asked him about it. I was like, because I knew I have friends who did, other network marketing companies, but I never, ever thought that I could do it. I thought that's not me. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not, I can't do that. So I started talking to him, and he did the whole GoPro thing to me. He's like, well, let me set up a time to talk to you. And, and I kept avoiding the conversation because I didn't want to get on the phone. I just thought I didn't want to talk on the phone. He's like, I'll send you a video and, we'll talk about it. So I just started doing a lot of research about the business. And then he pretty much said the magic words to me, you're doing everything a Beachbody coach does, but you're not getting paid. And for somebody that's looking at their bank account, just going down, 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 down every single month, I was just kind of like, well, why not? Maybe this can work out. So I had never had Shakeology. I was doing my own protein shake. So I said to him, can I do this without Shakeology? Because I have my own thing. And he was pretty much like, probably not, And I said, well, I don't know if I'm going to like it. So he said he would send me some. And I said, okay, if I like it, then I'll do it. If not, then it's not going to work. So he sent it to me and I liked it. So I decided to sign up without a challenge pack because I didn't think I could afford it. So I signed up for $40. And he told me he didn't do challenge groups. So I, as soon as I signed up, I was headfirst into everything. All the training, I decided I had to do a challenge group, but he didn't do them. So I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just decided to put it out there. Well, because I had been blogging about T25 and I had been talking about it for so long, I hit Success Club 16 my first month and I sold $500 worth of product. So with that money that I made, and I was hooked. I was like, okay, this is awesome. And I think that maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. So, and my husband was pretty reluctant about the whole thing because I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. When I got laid off from AOL, not only did I become a freelance writer, I also started a cake business. So I had all these like little things that I would do and then kind of get bored with. So he thought it was going to be another one of my things that I would get bored with, but obviously he doesn't think that now. So I like to tell that story because I think a lot of people like to play the comparison game and think, well, I signed up at the same time as this person, but they're ahead of me. But I put in 6 months worth of coaching without being a coach. So I had been blogging and Facebooking my weight loss journey for 6 months prior to becoming a coach. So that's why when I signed up, I had already lost at least 30 pounds probably before I became a coach. So people had been watching me and they saw my journey. And I was immediately able to see success. And I kind of just took that and ran with it. So for some of you that are new coaches, you might sign up and you might not have a transformation yet. And you might not have people that are ready to sign up with you. But don't let that discourage you. And that's another reason why I always tell people that they can't compare. Because you never know what people's backstory is. And then also here you can see I'm a wife. I have 2 kids, which I talked about. And this is a picture of me after my first baby, and then this is a picture of me in December. So wearing the same outfit. But yeah, I've lost about 50-ish pounds since I became a coach. Well, before becoming a coach, because I had lost the pounds before. But so I have 8 tips. I actually have a bonus tip at the end, but these are in no particular order things that I think helped me reach my goal. So belief, and success partners, cold market, and leadership. So I'm going to go through each of these categories and expand a little bit upon these. And they all kind of intertwine. You'll hear a lot of the weaving in between. So belief is huge. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. I think one of the number one things that holds people back from being a successful coach is that they do not believe in themselves or they doubt themselves. So belief is huge. And the way that you get belief is that you have to do personal development. I know it's nailed into our heads and it's one of the 3 vitals, but I think it's the one that people really, really don't take seriously enough. There's always going to be a voice in the back of your head that tells you you're not good enough, that gives you that self-doubt. And it's all about how well you can quiet that voice that's going to get you to where you are. So a big way that I deal with this is that I have a vision. So these are a couple of things that I do to help me overcome that self-doubt and help me see where I am going. So I have a couple of apps on my phone. I have the Secret app. So if you've never watched The Secret or read The Secret, I highly recommend it. It's all about the power of the universe and how you can attract things to you with the law of attraction. So it gives you every day, it gives you a little piece of advice or, something that can help you visualize, which I really like because sometimes it's really easy to like think it, but not actually practice. Another app I have here called Spirit Junkie. Every goes off at 11:30 in the morning, and it just like has this little dinging, and it's an affirmation. And so I just took a screenshot of this one. I attract what I believe. And then I also have this board. It's white. I have all of these affirmations here that every time I'm working, I can read them. And they're actually from Oprah did a meditation series this year with Deepak Chopra. And these were all of the meditation affirmations that we would do during the meditation. And so they just kind of helped me with coming back and remembering where I want to be and what I want my mind to be like, because your mind can go all these different places. So this has been a huge factor for me. Also, you can see here, I put my Success Club goal and my coach sign up goal in check boxes. So that way, when I'm in my office or when I'm thinking about where I want to be Success Club wise or coach wise, I can visualize myself checking them off. And so when I get closer to my goal, I start adding more boxes. And this really helps me visualize where I want to be. So that's my visualization board. I don't know if this is too woo-woo for you guys, but this really helps me. And so here on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see this journal. And so I created this slideshow in the beginning of the year. So you can, these dates are a little bit old, but I have it. It's right here. It's this little journal I got from Home Goods. It says believe on it. And every morning, or at least every morning that as much as I can, I try to remember to do it. I do 3 things that I'm grateful for right now in this moment. Then I do 3 things that I'm grateful for in the future. So they haven't happened yet, but I'm showing gratefulness for them, because a big thing about attracting things to you or visualizing things is feeling in that moment right now so that it happens. And then I do affirmations. So you can see, which this is like so cool to me when I wrote this, you can see here that on the 17th or the 7th, the 7th of January, I was going through a really hard time. I had just hit elite, but I was like in this really big funk because I got put into the wall with all these amazing coaches. And I just got, all of a sudden I was surrounded by all these people that I really, really looked up to. And I just felt so unworthy. And I felt, how am I going to live up to all these amazing coaches that have done so many great things? And I just kind of went into this really big funk. So a lot of my affirmations and my visualizing had to do with being a great coach. You can see, like I wrote, I'm a 15-star diamond. I'm a leader amongst leaders. I'm admired and respected. I'm confident. People want to join my team, because I just was feeling very unworthy of what I had reached. But the coolest thing I think of this is what I was grateful for happening in the future. 2 things, Ben being home to help me. Ben's my husband. And then the other thing I was grateful for was a 6-figure business. And those things had not happened yet. But today, I can tell you my husband is retired. We retired him in March. And I have a 6-figure business. So those were 2 things that I showed gratitude for that hadn't happened yet. And now I can tell you that they are very true. So I just love the power of visualizing and the law of attraction. I just am a huge advocate of that. And I think it's helped me a lot. And not only to just see it on paper, but like just to believe in myself and believe whenever I'm feeling bad, I really dig into those affirmations and just write what I want to be or what I want to feel. And it really just helps my mind get there. Okay, speaking of getting there, confidence. So these are a few of my do's and don'ts for confidence. Do push out of your comfort zone, because if you are comfortable, you're not growing. You need to get uncomfortable. I know things that make me uncomfortable are going to help me grow. Things like doing like a coach, like a what is coaching webinar, like that makes me so uncomfortable. But I know doing it is going to help me grow and be a better coach. And it's going to help my team. Do create your own team. I see so many coaches rely so much on their sponsor coach and putting their coaches in their, do your own team page, like start learning leadership now before you have a huge team. And then you're like, well, then it becomes harder. you know? So start creating your own team and separating yourself from your sponsor. Do you take a lot of selfies? That is the part of this business that people have such a hard time with because they are so worried about what other people think. So my success partner is Bonnie Engel. She's one of my success partners, but she takes so many selfies. If you go to her page, there's probably every single picture of herself. And, you know, it took me seeing that to realize that that's why she's in the top 10. She is not afraid to take selfies. And so I started incorporating more selfies into my business, and I saw my business grow because I stopped caring what other people thought about my selfies. So you're going to hear me talk about some. I have a huge slew of books here. Personal development. I'm watching personal development. It never stops. I'm doing laundry. I'm not watching TV. I'm listening to personal development. I'm driving in my car. If my kids aren't in there, then I'm doing personal development. If they're in there, then we're listening to music because we know if you have kids in the car, you're not going to be listening to personal development. You're not going to pay attention, at least. Do not compare yourself to others. And the reason I stress this a lot too is because I do it a lot, and it has like killed me. It's not worth it. It makes you feel like shit. And sorry, I curse, but
that's okay.
Okay. And it's just, you never know the behind the scenes. You never know what people are putting into their business. So you just cannot compare yourself to anybody. Just compare yourself to yourself. Do not focus on failure because failure is good. Failure helps you learn. If you fail, take whatever it was that you did and change it. So in the beginning, my challenge groups were horrible. I was doing like T25 only challenge groups that were 10 weeks long. Do you think my challenge groups even had anybody talking in the after 30 days? And my challenge groups failed. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they're too long. Well, yeah, they were. So you just take what's not going right and tweak it. That's why they say fail forward. Don't listen to the haters. The haters, I love this saying, like, your opinion doesn't pay my bills, right? The haters aren't going to help your business move forward. The haters are usually the people who come back in a year and apologize to you because they realize that they were wrong. And I know in this business, we deal a lot with haters such as people who they think like being healthy isn't cool, or they think network marketing is a scam. I lost one of my very best friends because I'm in network marketing. And she actually bought a challenge pack from me when I was a new coach, but I could not take the incessant of her sending me articles about pyramid schemes and articles about Beachbody when I was just like, this is what I'm doing. I'm happy. You're not happy with it. If you're not happy for me and you can't support me, then we don't need to be friends. And she told me I was brainwashed. So I was like, okay, if I'm brainwashed, then we can't be friends. So it hurt. And, you know, it was hard, and I've been blocked by my aunt. So it's just something you just have to realize that those people are either going to come back around or they're not. And it's just, you can't let it stop you. I mean, it's just, this business will change your life and change your family's lives. And a few people hating on it or making fun of you is not worth the life-changing opportunity that you have in your lap. It's just not worth it. So do not listen to them at all. Just dig into your personal development, dig into your team, dig into the people that are going to support you no matter what, and you'll succeed. And don't dwell on self-doubt. So like I said earlier, that's good. The self-doubt is going to kill you. So do as much as you can to silence that voice in your head that tells you that you're not a good coach, or tells you that you can't hit Success Club, or that tells you that who's going to buy a program from you if you haven't had a transformation. Like, none of that matters. It's all about you inspiring other people on your journey, no matter where you are. So don't let that self-doubt get to you. And then I love this little quote: be weird, be random, be who you are. Because being weird is cool. Okay. Love goals. Because I never set goals until, I think we all like dream in our heads. We're like, oh, I want this. or we have Pinterest boards, or, we have goals. When I worked at AOL, we had these, quarterly goals that we had to set that were all based on our manager. They were dumb. But I like to set goals and yearly goals. So daily goals might be something like, how many people am I going to talk to today? How many people am I going to invite to my challenge group? That would be a daily goal. A monthly goal would be something like, how many Success Club points am I going to get this month? Or how many coaches am I going to sign up this month? And then quarterly goals might revolve more around the quarterly bonus. So, what rank am I going to be this quarter? Am I going to push for, 2 stars so I can get the 2-star bonus? Or am I going to push for 5-star? And then yearly is where you want to end the year. So for me last year, my goal was to end the year as a 5-star elite coach. And I didn't really necessarily, I had signed up October 2013. So in the new year, I was an Emerald, and I didn't really necessarily know all that it took to get to elite, but I saw the elite coaches get their roses and get their, cool elite stuff. And I saw them having cool things at the parties. And I'm a Ruby personality. If you study the gems, I'm really driven by have cool stuff. I want to go to the cool parties. I want to be VIP. So that really drove me. And I didn't really even have any idea of who was going to help me get there, but I just knew that's something that I wanted. So that's what I set my goal as. Even though it was like way high, I was just like, I'm going to do it. So one of the big things too that I did with that was I sat down with my husband, and our big goal too was also to retire him. And so I said, if you give me the weeknights to work, I'll give you the weekends. But that's the only way that I'm probably going to be able to succeed in retiring you as fast as I can. I just have to put in more hours. And realistically, with our schedules and the kids, like I had to be really strategic, but I had to work at night. That was like my number one thing was like, I have to work at night. And if you want to quit your job, then that's like, you have to give it to me. And he was so cool with it. He was like, yes, please. This hour commute an hour to work, an hour back every day. So that goal, that was my why. That was my number one why. And I had these goals that I wrote these in just, I didn't act on them, which is so important. When you're setting a goal, you have to put a date because it's going to help you push. You don't have to hit it by that date. I don't think I hit any of my rank goals. Leadership because I didn't hit 2-star with a date that it was supposed to be on. I missed a lot of goals, but I eventually hit them. It's just kind of a place to know where you're going. And that saying, if you aim for the moon, you'll land among the stars. Like it's kind of how I felt. I was pushing really hard for these goals, and I didn't quite make them on the days the dates that I had set, but it wasn't that long after that I hit them just because I was pushing so hard. So you can see, like, I wanted to make diamond. I didn't even put a day when I was going to hit diamond, but I hit it in February. And there's some things that I didn't make. I didn't take a vacation or a honeymoon. Still haven't done that. We went to Cancun, thanks Beachbody, but we haven't done like a real vacation. I wanted 2 to 3 date nights a month. Like that hasn't happened yet either. Mainly because like we have a puppy and it's just hard to get a babysitter to deal with our puppy. So, and then make 2K a week. That didn't happen in 2014. It happened like in February. So it wasn't that far after, but I was like dead set on making 2K a week by the end of 2014. And then I was going to get Insanity certified, and I ended up getting PIO certified. So things can change. You just set those goals to see where you are going, and you can pivot and make different changes along the way. It's just a way to get all of your invisible into the visible over here, what Tony Robbins says. Okay, action. So I had to put the 3 vital behaviors in here because I think they get lost in the shuffle a lot. So many times when I talk to my coaches, I'm like, are you doing the 3 vital behaviors? And more than often, they are not doing all of them. So invite. I like to call that connect, because I don't necessarily think that you have to be, I think this scares people. So they think, oh my gosh, I have to be like inviting challenge group every single day. It's not necessarily about that. It's about connecting with people every day. So making sure that you have a list of people and that you're either starting conversations or you are writing on their Facebook pictures, and just talking to them about their life. It doesn't have to be about Beachbody. Just you have a solution and they might have a problem that you can give them the solution to. So this isn't going to be a good fit for everybody, but you have to always be sharing this opportunity, whether it be the coach opportunity or the opportunity to get fit. And so if you're talking to people every day, it's going to probably come up in conversation. And that way you can invite them. So if you're connecting with people every day, the inviting is going to be really, really easy and it's not going to feel weird. So I like to tell my new coaches to connect. And then number 2, be proof the products work. So a lot of times what happens in this business is people get so excited about the business side of it. Drink their shakes, which I don't know how people don't drink their shakes. It's like, I'm addicted to those things. I drink the workouts. I understand how people can slack because I've been there. I fall off the wagon a lot. The point is to be real about it. So people connect to people who are real. And if you are, if you fall off the wagon, share that with people because they will understand. They can relate to that. You want to be relatable. But at the same time, if you don't have a transformation, it's going to be a lot harder to show people this opportunity of work. And if you don't have a transformation yet, that's fine. You can share, your friend's transformation or somebody on your team. But really, even something like the 3-day refresh or the 3-day quick fix, like something really small can make a really big impact. So I challenged my coaches it's the end of the month. I said, hey, the best way to help get Success Club is to share your transformation with people because people are watching you. So I challenge any of you to do the 3-day refresh or the 3-day quick fix over the next, course of the next week, 3 days, and do it and share it because you're going to have results to show people that what we have works. So always make sure that you are being a product of the product. And that still means if you fall off, share that and then get back on. So you can have different types of transformations. It doesn't have to be totally weight loss. And then personal development. I am called the personal development monster by my coaches because I am nonstop talking about it. And it is so important. And it's the reason that top coaches say it's so important because you have to grow. You have to grow as a leader. You have to grow as a person. I can always tell when people aren't doing personal development, especially if they're getting mad. If they're like mad at people's responses or they get all, pissy about something, I know. I'm like, well, obviously you aren't doing personal development because you're getting so personal about these answers and you're just like getting pissed off about something. So read, do YouTube videos, success tab in your back office. What else? Listen, Audible. Like there's just so many ways, Sometimes what I do is the National Wake Up Call isn't at the best time for me. So I have the podcast on my iPhone. If you have an iPhone, they have a podcast app. It's purple. I don't know if you can see it. And then you can click on it and there's a Team Beachbody Coach podcast. Looks like this. And you can just listen to the wake up call on your phone. So when I'm doing laundry, I just put on the wake up call and do listen to it. And then I'll listen to I'll go to a YouTube page of a coach. Usually I'll just listen to her videos because she likes to have long rambling videos and it's usually something really good that I can take away from. So personal development is so key, especially if you're growing as a leader. Leadership is not natural. You have to learn it and you have to learn the different personalities of your team. And so it's really, really crucial to read about how to become a better leader or to listen or watch that. And then at the bottom here, I have, don't forget to track your actions. Tracking is so key. I started tracking my business in June of last year. amazing. I only track once a week, so I'm not doing the business activity tracker where I'm tracking every single day, like who I'm inviting and all that kind of stuff. I just track my business every week, and I've been able to see the growth. And those times when I'm feeling stuck, I can go back and look and be like, I have come so far. Like, look how far my business has come, even though it doesn't feel like it. And also can show you where you need to tweak. So do I need to, spend more time on Facebook, or do I need to put a little more time into my blog, or whatever you're seeing on your tracker, like how's your customer growth, or how's your volume? Like, do you need to add more people to your week leg? Or, it's very, very crucial if you're not tracking your business and you don't know where you need to make changes in your business. So I highly recommend tracking whatever kind of tracker you want. I just have this Excel spreadsheet. I can send it to you guys if you want to see it. But it's basically just tracking my personal development, my workouts, my volume, my blog views, Instagram, like page, customers, Success Club qualifiers, income, and then also my husband's business. So it's just a few things that I track. I used to track success partners. I think success partners are really, really important because for one reason that I think this business is really hard, and I think a lot of people give up too easily. And if you have somebody that's invested in this business with you, they're going to be there for you, and they're going to keep you accountable to your goals. So a lot of people try to say like, oh, your success partner has to be just like you. Like, so many people who are moms like look for partners who are moms, or I don't think that you necessarily have to have that much in common with them. I think you have to have the same goal. I think you have to have the same drive and personality, kind of. So like I said, Bonnie Engel is and she doesn't have children. She lives in California, but we have the same goals. Like, we are both pushing as hard as we can. She's obviously in top 10. I'm not there yet, but I'm pushing for it. And when she's having a hard time, I help her. And when I'm having a hard time, she helps me. And we just have the same to keep each other pushing and talk each other off the ledge. And I have other success partners that we're all in different places in our business, but we all add value to each other, and we're all there when we have problems and when we have issues with our team, or it's just people you can talk to that aren't on your team. I think that's the number one thing too, is like they shouldn't be on your team. They should be separate from your team, because so that's been a huge part of the success. Okay, cold market. This is so important. A lot of coaches come into this business and they hit the ground running, and they're like hitting it hard and hitting Success Club. And then all of a sudden they are like, oh shit, like I don't have anyone else. Like I don't know what to do. And then they just have no one, because they have just been relying on their warm market. So my advice now for you new coaches, like right now, like page, do an Instagram, do a Pinterest, do a blog, do something that is going to help you transition from your warm market to your cold market. So you don't want to like have a drop off and then have to build, because this stuff takes time to build. It takes a long time to build a like page. It takes a long time to build a following on a blog. So if you start now while you're still in your warm market, then you have the opportunity to just kind of have a smooth transition into your cold market. So for me, I have my blog, my like page, and my Instagram page. Now my Instagram page is very much the third tier of this here. My like page is probably number one. Well, my number one is my personal Facebook page. I have it public, and I get so many people through my personal Facebook page that are friends of friends that I probably would have never gotten if I hadn't made my page public. Because when people comment on my pictures, their friends see it because I have it public. So I highly recommend having a public Facebook page to having a store. So if you had a storefront, you and had it private, would you have any business? Probably not, right? So I highly recommend, like, and in doing that, you can make your settings so that certain things are not public, and you can go back and anything that you had posted before you went public one time with like pictures of your kids being on the internet, then you would just want to maybe have a separate private account for that, because this is your business now. So maybe you don't want to have your kids involved in your business. That's totally fine. For me, it's a huge part of who I am. And my whole team is moms. And so my kids are a big part of my business. So, and I've been a mommy blogger for 4 years. So I don't have a hard time having my kids on the internet. But Instagram for me is last. I don't really strategically post on Instagram. I just post my life. And sometimes I attract people that way. But it's not a big avenue for me to gain new coaches, kind of randomly come from there. It's mainly my blog, my Facebook, and my like page. So if you are looking for a way to grow your cold market, I just would really think about think about your strengths. So if you're not, you don't have to be a good writer to blog, but blogging it takes a lot of work. And you have to be consistent. You have to blog at least, 2 to 3 times a week. And I have sometimes go through times where I don't, and I can see it affects my business. It's just it's a lot of upkeep. So maybe you just want to keep it to Facebook, or if you like Pinterest, if you're on Pinterest a lot, if you have a lot of followers, then go there. Just find what you're good at and really, really focus on it. And I like to say, Beachbody coaches have shiny ball syndrome, so they will see, oh, so-and-so has a really awesome Instagram page. I'm going to do Instagram. And then the next week they'll be like, oh, but I think Facebook is better. So just pick one thing and become an expert at it. Just like Google or YouTube, anything about like Facebook like pages. You can find so much information on Facebook like pages and how to grow your like page and how to run ads. And it's just, for me, been a huge success in my business is having a like page and running Facebook ads. So there's so many resources on all of these different platforms that you can find. Okay, leadership. Take action. So create your own team Facebook page. Like I said earlier, if you have a couple of coaches, it might be quiet at first, but it's a good way to practice leading your own team. And it's going to grow way faster than you could ever imagine. Start weekly team calls, or bi-weekly or monthly. Just get on a Zoom with your coaches, because that's going to help you it's going to help you bond. So my coaches, when I first started, we did a team call and we would just hop on every week, and we would come to the call with one win of the week, one struggle of the week, and one personal development takeaway. And that's all we would do, just go around and all talk about it. And we became so close. And all of those girls now are my diamonds. Like, we just grew together and just ran together with this business. And I really attribute a lot of it to, because I just broke away from my coach so early. And not that, for any other reason other than him and I were really different. He's a single guy that lives in LA. I'm a mom that lives in the suburbs, and I have 2 kids. So I just felt like the people that were on my team, it made more sense for me to just kind of like start my own thing than to, have his thing. But we just became so close, and we all ran together. Check in with your coaches weekly, or at least, monthly. A lot of coaches are kind of quiet and they don't want to bother you. So it makes sense if you start checking in with them, just to like, hey, like, want to see how you're doing, see where your head's at. So just connect with them and make them feel special, because a lot of them will be shy. Get yourself to Success Club and then dedicate yourself to your coaches. So a lot of times I see my coaches focus so much on their team, like especially when you hit diamond, you feel kind of like you have a team now, you have to focus on them. You cannot neglect your business. You really, really need to do 50-50. So make sure you're getting yourself to Success Club first. That way you're not scrambling at the end of the month to hit Success Club. Offer to lead new coach trainings I know on my team, like I have been the main coach training person, and it really makes the load off of my shoulders when my coaches offer to run coach trainings or just start their own team. You are a new diamond. Well, new coach trainings, it's going to make you feel empowered, and it's going to help your coach a lot. Make sure you stay on top of the breaking coach news that's in the coach online office, so that you can know what's going on with the business and also share that with your team. And then I'm a big proponent of recognition. So people want to be recognized. It doesn't even have to be Success Club recognition or PV recognition. It could be like, so-and-so had a great Facebook post. I love how you said this. Or so-and-so had our first challenge pack sale, or signed our first coach, or just like any little thing that's going to make your coach feel special. The other day in my team page, one of my coaches, she's always one of the first people to welcome new coaches to the alert. She's always, so helpful to everybody. So I just gave her a shout out. I was like, I just really want to shout out Laura for being such a, always welcoming new people to the team. It means a lot, because, it does mean a lot when people only like a picture and then versus her commenting on the picture. It means a lot to me. So I wanted to make her feel special. So don't be afraid to recognize your coaches for even small things like that. Okay, this is my bonus slide and my bonus tip that I didn't have in the beginning, because I made this slideshow and I felt like I went through all the things that really helped me succeed. But I forgot to tell on slideshow, and it was the gems. Or if you do the personality plus or the color code, knowing other people's personality was a huge game changer for me in my business. I am a Ruby Sapphire, and I can be kind of intense, especially when it comes to hitting my goals. And I had a situation when I was a diamond, and I was really pushing for 1 star because I wanted to go to the 1-star party at Summit, because that kind of thing motivates me. And I had a coach who was pretty close, and so I was kind of pushing her. And she really pushed back hard, and we got into a fight. And I realized that she just wasn't like me. She wasn't motivated by what I was motivated by. She could care less about hitting diamond. And so I hadn't learned about the gems yet. And so I stepped back, and I just kind of was like, I'll just let her be. And she's now a diamond. She went diamond this year in January. So almost a year after I wanted her to be diamond. And I was fine with it, because I learned about the gems, and I learned that there are people that are not like me. And knowing my people, one of the first things I ask my new coaches in the email is tell me their gem, so I know how to motivate them. For my rubies, I know I can dangle a carrot in front of their face for them to hit a goal, and most of them will hit it. But for people like pearls, they just have to take their time. They're in this business to help other people. They're all in this business to help other people, but they are really not motivated by anything other than helping other people. So I know with my pearls, I cannot put pressure on them, because if I put pressure on them, they will crack. So anything you learn out of this business is knowing other people's personalities, whether it's the gems, whether it's the color code, like I said before, because we are all so different, and it's so easy to have that one's like that. But it's so important to know that other people are not like that. And that has been a huge key to my success. That don't want to be pushed, they might quit. You don't want that to happen. So I will leave you with this quote of action. Oops, where did it go? Okay. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And that is what I have.
Thank you so much. I recorded this whole thing because I'm like looking and I'm taking notes on the slides, and I hope that the people who dialed in will hop back on and watch the recording, and that the people who watched it took notes or screenshot your slides or something, because I feel like there was so much information in there. And I think that a lot of people, everybody who was on, probably got at least a few tidbits to benefit from. So thank you for taking your Memorial Day to hop on and chat with us.
You're welcome.
Guys, this recording will be posted.
If anyone has questions, if I can answer.
Let me see. Let me see if I can unmute the lines. I muted everybody. Let's see. Okay. Everybody is unmuted. Does anybody have questions that they want to ask Nikki before we hang up? We have a couple minutes left. I think we have a lot on the phone. So I think we have a lot on the phone. I don't know that all of them saw everything that you had. I'm trying to scroll through to see everybody. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to ask about the slides or anything? I don't think we have a lot on the phone. No.
Well, if anybody has questions, feel free to message me.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight. I appreciate it. And I will chat with you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Right. That was awesome.
All right. Everybody, I hope you guys all have a good night. Nikki, I will chat with you later. Everybody have a great night. This will be up before the end of the evening tonight. I'll post this recording for everybody.